everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, for those of you who may have never been here before. In today's video, we are talking about more storylines for The Sims 4. Some of my most popular videos lately have been a storylines video, a chaotic storylines video, a family storylines video, and today I just want to talk about like general wholesome storylines that you might find interesting and might want to play out in The Sims 4. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to re-announce that I have started a whole other channel about The Sims. It is called Taylorsaurus Guides and will be the first link in the description if you want to go check out over there. It's going to be a bunch of little short guides on how-tos in The Sims 4. So let's jump into 10 wholesome storylines for The Sims 4. The first one on this list is two twins who are like best friends. Maybe they grow up together. Maybe you play through their whole childhood, their teenage life, their university life if you have The Sims 4 Discover University, and eventually you get them to move in together as young adults, and maybe they live together for the rest of their lives, and they're just really close friends. They're like besties, they share everything. And maybe at some moment they even have their spouses move in, or maybe they one of them adopts a child and they both raise it together, that kind of vibe, where they're literally just best friends forever. And like literally from the womb to the grave, these two cannot be separated by anything. You can even have like little things come in where it's like, oh, maybe this man will separate them. Nope, they're too strong. They love each other. And you can kind of have them be maybe opposite twins, or like each have their assigned color, which I know is the thing that a lot of twins and triplets have to deal with, where their parents, when they're born, will like be like, okay, this is blue child, this is pink child. That's how we will tell them apart. But maybe these twins decided to keep that forever. So maybe there's like a pink chair and a blue chair at their dining table, and one of their bedrooms is pink, one is blue. You can kind of drag that through to just give them a little bit more personality and kind of have some more fun with it, which I think is really fun. But I think that any storyline involving twins is just fun to play through because it's like two of the same but are different, and you can take them down different career paths and all of that, and it's just so fun to play because they look the same, but they aren't the same, but they love each other. The next one on this list kind of feels like me, but like kind of not. So it's like a single child. So, they're the only kid, they are by themselves, only child vibes. And then maybe when they're like an older teenager or a young adult, their parents have another kid. And me and my younger sister have a 14-year age gap. I do have an older brother, but like my sister was born when I was in high school. So like I feel that. There's nobody in between us, so I feel this one. And maybe this kid decided that they wanted to stick around, stay home for university instead of like going off to live in the dorms, and they live at home a lot longer than they would plan to, so they can help raise this kid and get to know them, because if they would have just gone off and lived their life, they would have missed their whole sibling's life. And I think that this can be really cute because they can get like a really close bond and become best friends and have a lot of time together, as opposed to if they would have just left. You can even have them just stick around forever and get a job and stay at home and kind of just like maybe live in the basement of this home and like have their own area, maybe even their own kitchen, separate entrance that's like locked from everybody else so they can have their own space, but still live at home to be able to hang out with their family. And then that way you still get to play through their life while you're also playing through the lives of their parents and this child. And if you do it late enough in life in The Sims, the parents might even pass away, and then it might become this child's responsibility to be able to care for this kid that they love so much. Obviously that takes it just a little bit of a sadder direction, a little less wholesome, but it is really precious. The next one starts off like a little bit sad and a little bit, it makes me very sad. But a family who maybe they aren't physically able to have children, and this is something that is real for a lot of people. Maybe it is a same-sex couple, maybe it's just people who have fertility issues, anything like that where they can't have children on their own. So what they decide to do is adopt a ton. So maybe they have, the two adults, and then like they have 6 adopted children, and they just live out this like beautiful, wholesome life where their whole goal is to just like make sure that these adopted kids have the best life ever. So they make sure that their kids have good grades and have all the toys they've ever wanted, and like give these beautiful lives to these children. I've talked in previous games where you kind of do the opposite and the parents aren't the best and they like use them as basement painting slaves, but that's not what we're doing here. We're being happy, we're being wholesome today, Taylor. A lot of you say that you don't usually expect the chaotic evil side to come out of me, but it happens sometimes. Today we're being wholesome again. So that you can just have these kids grow up and have these beautiful lives and have these parents that love them so much, who always wanted to be parents, and it just ends up being super cute, and you get to experience a bunch of different Sims. And it's really fun if you actually adopt them as children because they already have a trait that can influence how they behave. So you don't get to choose that trait, because if you adopt them as toddlers, they age up to a child, you influence more of who they are. But then maybe this trait and their aspiration that goes with the trait that they already have will be really interesting. I find playing with adopted kids in The Sims to be so fun and just make you like, it gives you the warm fuzzies. That's what we're here for today. The next one starts out with a party boy or girl who turns completely super parent the second they realize that they got pregnant. You could play this as like a single parent or maybe a couple who decides that they want to go out and party a ton, and then there's a surprise pregnancy they didn't expect and they completely turn their life around. Both of them get like their big grown-up jobs and they take care of this kid. And you know, sometimes maybe they still go out on the weekend and like invite grandma over to make sure that they're like still living their lives, but being able to take care of that kid and just having the best time ever. It's fun to have those Sims completely change instead of being the same person for their whole life. So maybe in their young adulthood, they're partying, they're having a lot of fun, you know, they're just going out every single day. Then like halfway through young adult, they get pregnant, and by the time they're an adult, they are a fully fledged adult and they know exactly what they're doing with their life. And I really like playing like that. The next one is a little bit inspired by the show Life with Derek. If you grew up in Canada or have ever seen this show, love it to death. So this would be like a single parent who has children who finds love with another single parent, and then there is a blended family situation. So maybe the other parents are dead or broken up or in jail. You never know. They could be anywhere. But you have these two parents fall in love, and then all of the children move into one home together, and it can cause absolute chaos, especially if there's like 5 children and then you're trying to like get them to just live together. Raising 8 Sims is very difficult, so being able to play with that many kids is hard, especially when you bring in people who are like not used to each other, not friends. Maybe like the oldest, like the 2 teens, kind of like Life with Derek, like fight a lot. If you've never seen Life with Derek, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was a great show. But you have the 2 who are like older fighting a lot. Maybe the younger ones fight a little bit. Maybe there's like one kid who's just like, can we just all get along? We're stuck here. Those kinds of vibes. But playing with like step parents is kind of fun because it's a different dynamic where normally you would have just a regular parent, but then you have a step parent and like the kids don't get along with them maybe, or maybe they like instantly take to them and it's a completely different vibe. But it is a fun way to play because you bring in different personalities and change the whole trajectory of your Sims' lives. So the next one would have a Sim who's like a super workaholic. If you have the Sims 4 Snowy Escape, the salary person career would be really good for this because it has really, really long hours and like events where they have to stay at work longer. So I think that would be a good one. But where they're a super workaholic, they get really far in their career. Maybe they're like at like 8, 9, or 10 level in their career. And then they end up deciding that their life just isn't fulfilled enough and they want to change it. So they spend all this time working and getting their skills and working and focusing on work. They realize they don't have a lot of friends, they haven't really pursued any of their hobbies, and they decide to quit their job, maybe adopt a child if that's where you want to take it, or just deep dive directly into a hobby and change how their life is. So they can maybe start painting, they can start writing books and find a way that actually brings them joy to be able to make money, as opposed to just like the 9-to-5 grind that they're doing every single day. You could have them adopt a kid or maybe find love and have a baby that way and change their life up a little bit like that. As you can see, I really like to see growth in my Sims and have them completely change and become better people before they die. I don't know if a lot of other players play like that or if they just have like a static one way of each Sim, but that's just how I enjoy to do it. The next one is to have a family where you have one of the parents working a ton and the other one is a stay-at-home parent. So in my mind, this would be like a stay-at-home mom who's raised these beautiful children who are all in school now, and now she just has a lot of time on her hands. So what she decides to do while all of her kids are at school is like do the little bit of cleaning that she needs to do before they get home, but also start a business. And this works really well if you have the Sims 4 Nifty Knitting, because maybe she starts knitting and selling items on Plopsy. Or maybe if you have cottage living, she can start making those cross stitches, and if you have Nifty Knitting, selling them on Plopsy. I love the idea of Plopsy for this because it is a lot like having an Etsy shop that's run while your kids are at school, so you can still be that super parent but be able to run this store. Or if you have the Sims 4 Get to Work, starting an entire retail business that's only open while your kids are at school so that you can have like the best of both worlds. You don't want to be completely bored while your kids are at school, so at least this gives the parents something to do and something for you to focus on while like other parent is at work and all the kids are at school and you just have one Sim. I find that I get really bored if I don't have tasks to focus on, so I'd want that Sim to start a business of their dreams and fulfill that part of their soul that they're looking to fill. The next one is a Sim who maybe has a child really, really young. Maybe if you have a mod, they're a teen parent, or they just had the baby immediately when they were a young adult. So they're pretty young, but they got no help from their parents to help raise this kid. So they're just trying to figure it out on their own. So you have a single parent and they're just like working so hard to try and give this kid the best life ever. And they take them on little trips. They go to all of the festivals. They just like want to have this kid experience everything. And they work really, really hard. Maybe they run a business if you have Get to Work. Maybe they're just in a regular career and they hire a nanny to take care of the kid all day. It really depends on your gameplay style, but having a Sim who kind of grows up with their kid is really fun to play through as well. And just having them just work so hard because they want to be good for their child brings me a lot of joy. The next one's a little bit weird. I saw a thumbnail. I didn't actually watch the video where it was like, what happens if a sim and their mom have a baby at the same time or with the same man or something? And my brain went, I wonder how it would be like to play through a storyline where a mom and a daughter have a baby at the exact same time. Maybe not with the same man, because that's a little bit weird, but have a baby at the same time and they're living together and they raise them completely together and have the two children be absolute best friends. And I think that that would be so cute. So it's actually like it would be the aunt or uncle and like the child would with the best friends. It's a little bit of a weird one, especially if you have your parent and you have a baby at the same time. But I think that it'd be fun because you get to have like the extra set of hands to help take care of the child and also get to go like live your life because there is someone else to help you and vice versa. And I think that that could be really fun because the two children can just become best friends and grow up together and live their lives together and just like be so happy. I don't know, that just makes my heart really happy. And the final one on this list is to have a full household. We got 2 grandparents, 2 parents, and all of the little kiddos running around and just live through this. Because honestly, having a multi-generational household in The Sims just makes your Sims feel a lot more alive and makes your Sims families feel a lot more important to them. There is genuinely nothing I love more than having grandparents in like a little grandparent suite or an extra bedroom, and just having them interact with their grandkids in their final days is just so wholesome to me. It is really sad once the grandparents do pass away because the kids will be very much affected, but you can always like keep the ghosts around and scare them once in a while. That's a fun way to play the game too. I like ghosts now in The Sims 4. I think they're funny, but anyway, but having all of these Sims in one household can really change how you're looking at the game, and having like multi-generations can have like new dynamics, and it's just so fun to play through. But there you have it, guys. Those are 10 pretty wholesome storylines that you can play through in The Sims 4. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I'll have all of the links to my other channels because we've got the guides channel, we've got this channel, we've got the stream uploads channel. There's lots of places where you can subscribe to me on the internet. But if you're not already subscribed to this one, be sure to do that down below as well. I really hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.